We live? We're live. Hey, what's going on, motherfuckers? You may vizzle peeping Tom Voyer motherfuckers. Holy shit. We're gonna fucking party hard tonight, man. I got some beer. We're about to get fucked up. I'm talking to motherfucking the man behind motherfucking Party Cannon right now. You won't believe what this band has gone through in this last year. Upcoming album, Volumes of Vomit. With no further ado, I bring to you, and my Night Shift merch brings to you as well, Chris Ryan from Party Cannon.
Okay, man. Cheers, everyone. It's good to be here.
Hell yeah. Thank you for coming here, brother. Now let's get
Pleasure,
into it.
man.
The first thing I want to talk about is your band's logo.
A bit more accessible in a way. Like people who aren't likely to listen to brutal death metal or slam will probably listen to the band just because of the logo and check it out and then discover and they like brutal music.
Yeah, it's a
That's
total
not.
trip.
Yeah, it's not like it's like you listen to music and you're like, oh fuck, this just sounds like a joke. Like, oh fuck, it's actually just like brutal death metal. So people are like, all right, cool, maybe I do like this stuff. It makes sense. I can see like people be turned off by slam like from the outset because like well, some of my favorite bands are like Devourment and Vulvectomy and things like that. So I mean, straight away, I was like, yep, that's penises and dead women everywhere.
It's funny because I forgot the name of Paleface, and I asked, I was talking to like, who was it, Seven from Snuffed on Sight the other day, and I was like, fuck, man, you remember that one band that has the cover of like the pregnant woman being burned on the stake and like all the dead bodies? And he was like, that sounds like a lot of slam bands.
Yeah, man. Yeah, any number of bands.
Yeah. And that transition, like that, the fucking, your first release is like iconic, man. Like that shit is just, it's so fucking funny. Like when you look Partied in Half, like what the fuck? Like it was so great, you know.
So man, like we made that ourselves. Like I was all like DIY. Like I remember a guitarist at the time, original guitar player. He's not in the band anymore, but he just take a lot of drugs and just fucking miss me like bullshit all the time. Like Jax, man, I'm trying to sleep. Stop just messing me with stuff. But one day you went, we should call the EP Party in Half, and there should be a guy cut in half, confetti coming out. And Jack, that's a really good idea. I'm not even joking. Like you text me rotten nonsense 24/7, but that's actually an amazing idea. So what we did, we got like two kind of platforms, and Jack was really flexible. So what I did was I built like a fake torso of his t-shirt. I got like a coat hanger, put up in the t-shirt. I cut a hole in the back of the t-shirt for his body to go through, and he was really flexible. So he's like literally bent in half in that picture. So he's underneath this like platform, and there's one like stuffed over him. So when the kind of fake torso bit's coming over,
Yeah,
and you just fill it with confetti, and that's it. That's how we did that.
that's
I looked up a tutorial on how to cut people in half, and it's all good.
that's fucking crazy, man. That's, you guys did some legit ass like that's like a trick they do in like 80s horror films and shit, like in hella movies. I've seen that. Like, what's that one guy's name that does all the fucking special effects? He even has like a school.
Tom Savini.
Yeah, exactly. You did some
Yeah,
Tom
man.
Savini shit. That's
He's
fucking
the man.
gangster.
Yeah, that's what I'm about, man. I love DIY horror films and just practical effects. So I've always kind of wanted to incorporate that into like Party Can. I got a lot of bands have like drawings and artwork and stuff, which is amazing. All looks really cool. But I just think Party Can needs to look raw. It just
Yeah.
look extra ridiculous.
Oh, so your newest fucking releases, the imagery that you've been putting out there for Nauseating and Unpalatable. That fucking, what the fuck is on that plate? Like, what I see, there's some corn chowder in there, I think. And then that is
Yeah,
that like a that's like a fucking meatloaf or something?
it's like a cake covered in like vomit, but it's just like a fucking can of soup, man. It's like from this like photo shoot we did.
Oh
Uh, that all was about kind of last minute, but the actual album Volumes of Vomit, the whole the whole thing is over 200 pictures of people throwing up and partying, just like in a collage. We got a bunch of people to like send stuff in. Like we did a campaign where asked all our fans like over the pandemic just to send in any kind of like gnarly pictures they had. So the more you go from the booklet, the more obscene it gets. It's just like fucking legit, just people like throwing up, taking drugs, just fucking bizarre gore and stuff.
That's how the
Oh, yeah,
parties usually end too, you know.
yeah, it's all man. Probably pretty cool. Because we all like old gore grind and stuff, like Carcass and Hendale and all that. And I thought it'd be a cool way for, since the pandemic, we've had like a lot of support like over it, even though like no gigs, we've just been putting like online content and stuff, and our merch sales are like really good. So like fuck, like that's insane. It's insane that during this hard time, people are still choosing to give us their money. So I thought, fuck it, we'll just involve. We need to find a way to involve all these people in the new album with kind of like thank you. Like, oh, that's all. This is a good idea. It's fun. It's obscene. It fits the band. People are definitely gonna want to like be part of that. So that's good, man. I'm really happy about how it turned out. I'm yet to see a physical copy of it though, but I've seen what it's meant to look like inside, and it's just insane. It
I
just looks nuts.
noticed. So the release date is in January. How long has the project been finished? Because it is it. If I'm not correct, it's going to be on vinyl at release, right?
At release is a strong
Yeah.
term. Basically, there's a worldwide shortage of vinyl at the moment, so you can pre-order it, and a
Okay.
vinyl will turn up at some point.
Yeah.
But CDs and stuff, and tapes and all that are all good to go in January. But that's a good question. How long has it been complete for? So we recorded it in January, uh, 2021. So we kind of sit on it since then. Like the final mix got us like in March, maybe I don't know. But we kind of been working on the album for like 7 years. Like our first album came out in 2015,
Yeah.
and right, cool, right, let's do another album. First album was like cool and stuff. It just didn't really turn out the way we wanted because we didn't really know what we were doing because we're not smart in any way. So like, fuck it, let's try getting another album out as soon as possible. But we'd write a bunch of songs, then we get like a really good tour offer. Like fuck, if we're going to do this tour, we need to have like new music out for it, and we don't have a full album ready. So we ended up just doing EPs. Then cool, let's start the album again. Got our good tour offer. Cool, we'll put what we have out right now as a split. So just kind of push back and push back as more gigs came in. But finally, got down, got done. 7 years, full length.
Fuck yeah.
7 years, man. That's ridiculous, though.
Yeah, it's well, you know, it's a trip because a lot of slam bands like won't do full releases. Like I've seen like a lot of bands that just drop hella EPs. They have short set lists. It's kind of like it's really cool when like you get a full length from a band. And I like
Yeah,
the fucking gore grind influence that is on this album art. I looked at it and it made me think of like Fluids. Like
yeah.
they're.
Well, fucking Jan from Fluids did the front cover.
Yep. So see, exactly,
Yeah,
dude.
there you go. There
That's
you go,
hard
man.
as fuck. Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. Yeah, they're a trip, man. Their latest shit is just whew. I feel it's funny because like it's so dirty and I don't want to listen to it, but I can't stop listening to it because I'm just like, what the
Yeah,
fuck, man?
feels like you're
It's
doing something wrong.
really cerebral and I thought that was awesome because I've like was hooked on them and when I saw your upcoming release I was like, oh shit, like this is about to be some sick shit. You released the single. Did that just come out today? The I Believe in Danny Filth?
Yeah, literally today, man. We've got a music video for it coming out on Monday. It was meant to be today, but the music video is quite involved. Basically, I don't know when it's going to come out, but it's like a full playthrough of like a Street Fighter game, but we've been animated into it. So it's all 16-bit. It's all done on like SNES animation and stuff, man. Uh, yeah, it's got Danny Phillip in it. It's got a bunch of cool stuff. It's a trip. It's like a fucking really good music video. Personally, like
Damn.
I'm not like super into music videos, so I thought if we're gonna do this, it needs to be something I would want to watch. I don't want to watch fucking Danny Phillip in a fucking Street Fighter game. So that'd be awesome.
That's crazy. What was the story behind that, man? Like fucking I Believe in Danny Filth, like just the writing of that song. Was it how did that come into fruition? Cuz I was like, what the
I
fuck?
Just it's a bit weird, man. It's a bit weird one. Like I don't know when we were younger, we were like Cradle of Filth and stuff, but Danny Filth has been this kind of weird inside joke from the band and stuff, just because he's just like a interesting character.
Yeah.
I think it kind of came about because years and years ago when we first started this band, we watched this documentary on BBC called "Living with the Enemy," and basically this kid he's like obsessed with Cradle of Filth, and his mom like hates Cradle, she's like religious or whatever. So the BBC get her to go on tour with Cradle of Filth for an entire week. So this is like middle class old lady just on fucking Danny Phil's tour bus for ages, and we were obsessed with this fucking documentary for fucking ages. Then the weirdest thing happened. The kid from the documentary, he grew up to be a gig promoter, and he booked us years and years later. and his name was like he had some like black metal moniker and stuff, but he went by in his professional name. So I think his real name was like Luke, but his name was like fucking the Dissector or something. So anytime I like, had like email like, "Hello Dissector, what is happening with this gig?" And the guy was like a fucking guy was an arsehole, man. Like I remember like phoning him telling him we're gonna be late to the gig because we've got screwed over by the band company, and he just shouted at me the whole time. So it was like a weird kind of full circle thing. Uh, we're obsessed with the documentary. We thought it was hilarious. Like Danny Phelps seemed like a cool guy in it and stuff. Uh, we felt like we were getting like we felt like he was getting like the raw end of the deal in that documentary. But it kind of went full circle with that. The kid in that documentary ended up being an Arsenal sidekick. Like what were the chances of that? So yeah, just been someone who's been sitting on for a while. Just had to work Danny Phelps into something.
That's fucking great, man. That's
Yeah.
what
Danny
the
Phelps a
hell?
cool guy as well. I know a bunch of people I've met him before, and yeah, he seems cool.
Yeah.
Credit Love like an awesome band. So
Yeah, he's talented as fuck, man. He got fucking 5 octaves in his fucking voice. Like
it's the
that's
same, man.
he's a trip. He's definitely he was made to make music, like you could
Oh
tell.
yeah, absolutely, man.
Like that's his purpose. And the fucking the theatrics and shit. I was watching it's funny, I think Kareem from Night Shift Merch fucking posted a clip from that of the kid or whatever. I think he posted it and was like, "Oh,
No,
I
no
haven't
way.
seen this in a long time." Yeah. Fucking that's so fun. That's so random. I gotta watch that. I didn't know it was like a whole documentary. I thought it was just a
I'll
clip.
link it there, man. Yeah, it's like half an hour long though, but it's fucking. The BBC used to put out some weird shit about music. They had one TV series where we got a brutal death metal band to stay in a house of a pop band, like a girl group, for a week, and they had to like collaborate and make a song. And that was like a real thing, like UK tax money was used to make. It was fucking awesome.
What the fuck, dude?
I know, man. It's insane.
Yeah, it's a crazy ass world, man. Like you never and with shit. Fucking and BBC put that shit out. They stamped their name
Yeah,
on it. Like what the fuck? I've seen. You know
yeah. You
what?
know, like
You ever seen that one thing BBC did like back in like the fucking 80s or it might have been early 90s where they said they were doing like an expose on like a fucking a real haunting and possession or some shit, and they had live cameras in on this place and fucking it was so scary they never aired it again because it was like War of the Worlds. Like they scared the shit out of hella
oh
people.
no way. Yeah, man, I did read about this. I saw every now and again they do like documentaries of like top 10 scariest moments on fucking British TV and stuff, and I'm sure I've seen that. That rings a bell. There's one thing they did, man. It was like since you're talking about things that kind of convince people, the BBC have this program called Panorama where they just expose stuff and do like send like journalists in to like look at things. They did like a fake episode on the spaghetti tree, and people just thought it was real. And they put out a big fucking disclaimer afterwards, like weeks later, like, "There's no such thing as the spaghetti tree. Please stop writing into it."
Yeah. Fucking people are gullible as fuck, man. That shit's crazy. You put some shit out there, like dead ass, man. I mean, especially nowadays, man. Like, you know, the fucking whole, the fucking rabbit hole that people go down to conspiracies and shit, especially
Oh, man.
over the last year. That's why I always say I'm happy I went down the fucking death metal rabbit hole instead,
Yeah,
because that's a good one to go down. You'll just find cool bands. Like,
yeah, for sure, man. Like, I like conspiracy theories as like entertainment, but I know quite a lot of people whose lives have just kind of been ruined by conspiracy theories, man.
oh yeah.
Like, they're just different people now.
I used to be about it. Like I remember back, I was like fucking 21. You know, I used to smoke a lot of weed, and I'd like this one dude came over and started talking about fluoride, and it all started making sense. And I was just, you know what I mean? I was all fucked up, and I
You can blow his mind by telling him that fluoride occurs naturally in your tooth enamel.
what for real?
Yeah, like your tooth enamel contains fluoride. That's why I put it in there
Yeah,
because it's good for your teeth.
yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. And like they're trying to say that like that's what they use to control the masses and shit. Like that's what this dude was telling me. Why do they put it in everything? And I'm like, dude, like fucking, you know, I was, yeah, like, you know, and I was smoking, so I was like, oh shit, like this dude's the truth. And then, you know, I really believed in that shit for years and got derailed. And then I like, you know what broke my fucking, it broke my entire view on all that shit was trading on the stock market. Cause like once I started seeing like money is real, like no matter what. Like there's no fucking there's no there's no reason they would do any of that kind of shit. Like all this shit that like people make up, it's like fucking reptilians and all this crazy like shit that people believe. I'm just like, dude,
And
like there's really like shady shit that's going on, but you can see through it, and the government isn't smart enough to fucking hide shit. They don't. I guarantee you, half of those politicians running a lot of the world don't even know how to use a fucking a new iPhone. You know, how are they going to
yeah,
cover up aliens? But
absolutely, man.
do you,
Absolutely.
do you
I
believe
fucking
in?
I love the reptilian conspiracy theory because it's just God, man. It's such a good way to derail things as well. But it's so absurd. It's just like so insane. But I just love it. Like shape shifting, pan dimensional Anunnaki aliens.
Yeah, the Anunnaki. They're
Just
coming
even
back.
saying that out loud is insane. I think I'm sure it's like deeply rooted in like anti-Semitic stuff, and that's not cool. That's not cool at all. But
Yeah.
just as a sci-fi concept, it's just like fucking. I love that people believe that like the Queen's like a reptile and stuff. So in Scotland, a lot of people don't like the Queen, so it's just fun to claim she's a reptile.
Yeah.
It's like, it just makes life a bit more interesting.
I know. My pops was into it for a while. He was like, "Watch this fucking video. You can see them
Oh,
morph." I'm like, dude, like
No way.
it's a shitty quality kit. You're
No.
watching a video in 240p, man. Like anything looks like a fucking
Your dad
reptile.
showed you that, man. That's insane.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was into it too. But after, it was funny because like I feel like during the pandemic, it was like that was the crossroads to where it was like, okay, either I'm doubling down on this shit or I'm gonna like have some common sense and like just fucking like realize, you know, what's really going on.
Yeah, totally, man. Like, there's a lot of heinous shit out in the world, and I think people should focus on things that are actually happening rather than just like making up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I enjoy conspiracy theories as entertainment, like I said earlier, but I mean, there's probably dodgy shit happening fucking down the street from you. That's stuff you should worry about. Fucking, there's like homeless people everywhere. There's like child poverty and things like that. That's stuff you can actually help with. You might as well deal with that rather than worry about fucking 5G or things.
Yeah, you know, like you know, fucking 5G. Oh my god, I was
Here's
pumped.
one for you, right? Right. Most conspiracy theories kind of get recycled over time. So do you not think the 5G theory is pretty much just a Fluoride theory?
Yeah, it's the same exact
You know,
thing. Causes
yeah.
cancer. It fucking controls your brain.
Like,
Fucking,
man,
it's the same shit over and over.
yeah, it's not weird, man. It's not weird. Man, I know a bunch of 5G towers got torched in the UK, and that was bad, man. The fucking shitty thing that happened though, well, not shitty, just kind of when it happened, I went, oh man, this is gonna kick off. Hawaii, I can't remember how to pronounce it. It was like a Chinese company. They got banned from operating in the UK, so they had to take down some 5G masts. That just happened to be a coincidental byproduct of some kind of trade deal or kind of regulation they broke. So since they weren't allowed to operate in the UK, their 5G masts had come down. So when I read that, I'm like, oh my god, people are just going to take this as 100% truth that 5G is boiling your testicles or something, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I don't know. I think it's fucking hilarious, man. Like I remember I was
Yes.
one of the first people with the 5G phone. I got like the Galaxy S20 like right when it came out, the day it came out. I'm not a phone guy, you know. I don't really give a shit. Like I had the oldest phone for a long time, but I saw like a commercial and I'm like, "You know what? I'm getting this shit." Like fuck it, and I got it, and everybody's warning me about it like, you know, 6 months after I've had this phone. And I was like, well, fuck, if the 5G's bad, I'm fucked because I've been using this
Yeah.
shit for hella long. And you know what? It's not even better connectivity, you know? Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I was spooked, man, when the pandemic happened. I was scared shitless. I was like, what the fuck? I knew it was going to happen before it happened because, like I said, I was trading on the stock market. And the Chinese stock market, they completely when the outbreak was happening over there, and everybody over in the U.S. was saying, "Oh, that would never happen here. That would never happen here." I thought it was hilarious because, well, it's a horrible thing. I don't think that it's hilarious, but I mean, I thought everybody's confirmation like that type of shit doesn't happen where I live was just so ignorant because I was like, they shut down the fucking Chinese stock market for like 3 solid days because people were panic selling everything and
Holy shit, man.
yeah, it was going to collapse. And I was like, okay, well, if it was all fake news and bullshit, then this fucking stock market would people wouldn't be panic selling everything over there like crazy, you know. And after that happened, I was like betting every day that our market was going to crash because I knew the same thing was going to happen. It was like a ripple effect. First it happened there, then it's going to happen here and throughout the rest of the world. And like I lost a lot of money betting on the market going down. And then I hit finally though, like right when it happened, like there's confirmation they were shutting down like some of the sport events and shit. I was like, yo, I'm fucking betting on this motherfucker right now because tomorrow they told everybody you got to stay at home, lockdown and shit. I was like, it's fucking happening. But then,
man.
Yeah, my one buddy was like, there are gonna be wars in the streets. I'm ready. I got my ammunition. You know how it is in the U.S. Like we just got fucking everyone has guns up the ass out here. So it's like fucking. That was like when I was nervous. I was like, oh shit, like there was unrest.
Man.
It was crazy, man.
See, I was one of those people as well. Not one of the people like there's gonna be wars and stuff. I just kind of assumed it wouldn't happen. I was like, oh, the UK is like an island. It's like really far away from China. They can just it's a first world country. That's not gonna happen. Like it wouldn't happen in Europe. But Italy went into lockdown, and Germany went into lockdown. Fucking most Eastern Europe like in lockdown. It's like, oh shit, it's coming. The UK didn't go to lockdown for the longest time. Then we were in lockdown for like months and months and months. I think Glasgow, which is one of the biggest cities in Scotland, or kind of main cities in Scotland, I was in lockdown for about 6 months, like straight. I was in lockdown for 3 months. Then there was a gap where things kind of semi went to normal. Then Christmas hit, 6 months straight down. That was it. It was fine.
Jesus Christ.
Some kind of lockdown for 6 months, man.
How did it change the way that you guys like made your music? Like, do you feel like it was because like it helped a lot of bands like really get focused, like
yeah, we were absolutely one of those bands, man. Like when it came like we're playing like a lot of gigs, but we weren't like touring a lot. We're just playing a lot of gigs between like gigs here and there, like weekenders and stuff. So what we'd do is we'd end up like working on music, then we'd go back to rehearsing our set to play these gigs and come back, work on new music, then like time to play some more gigs. So it's kind of hard to really just sit down and focus on new stuff. But when the pandemic happened, every gig was cancelled. We had like 2 tours of America, North America cancelled, or European gigs cancelled and stuff. So basically all we could really do is write. We live quite far away from each other. So our drummer and one of our guitarists, they live in Glasgow. And I live in Fife, so does our other guitarist and singer, and that's about an hour and a half drive. So we practice twice a week, so that's like 6 hours of driving just to go rehearse. But we couldn't do it anymore, so we just got good at digital stuff. I was like demoing stuff in my house. I was using Guitar Pro, sending to drummer. Drummer could still go and rehearse in the studio because it was like close to his house. So he was the only person in there for months and months at a time. And he was just in there by himself, jamming along like demos. He'd like jam stuff, he'd film himself, send it back to me. They would just kind of write digitally. I'd learn it, the guitars would learn it. Then when I eventually could rehearse together, we pretty much had the album done. Then once we rehearsed in a room, we got some pre-production done. Like, yep, we'll make a few changes here and there. Yeah, it was good in that respect. We definitely like I said, after 7 years, we finally got an album finished, got ways to record it and stuff. So yeah, we definitely used that time wisely, I think. We also put out some online content, like we started doing like studio diaries, started getting like video editing and things like that. Once things eased up a bit and we could actually all be in a room together, we filmed some just like playthrough videos, just us jamming in the room, like but professionally done. So yeah, giving people like we have a following in the UK, but I think our biggest followings are in like Europe, America, Asia maybe. So we're still giving those people content and stuff to watch. Yeah, just different ways to keep your band like fresh and out there.
Yeah, no, that's
bit of an
cool.
eye opener in a way, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. But metal also had like a fucking resurgence. Like Kareem was talking about it from Night Shift. He was like, yeah, like, people started buying more merch, more bands are getting exposure and shit. Do you feel like you increased your fan base significantly during that time as well, with people finding it online?
I'd say so, man. Like something definitely changed because once we came out of lockdown and started playing gigs again, the demand for Party Can was definitely there. I don't know if it was higher or if I was just like seeing it from different light, but more people were asking for gigs. More people were offers more money. Merch sales are definitely going up. I remember the pandemic, we were making like over like $1,000 a week on merch, which is insane. Just on
God
online
damn.
sales, like what the fuck happened? I know. I was like, this. I'm comfortable just saying that because it's not like a normal thing for us. Like
Yeah.
we usually do quite well on merchandise, but that was insane. And like I said in earlier podcast, I really appreciate that people did that. Like it was a hard time for everybody. So the fact that they were happy to give us their money, like it meant like a lot. Because there's like obviously there's like so many good bands. There's so many bands that like worse off positions. So the fact that they chose us over anyone else is amazing. But yeah, man, it was insane. Like I think the pandemic definitely changed the way people consume stuff. It's changed the way people like view like music as well. Marketing definitely changed everything, man. They kind of flipped everything. So internet just became even more of a powerful tool than it was before, man.
Yeah, it was nuts, dude. Like that whole shit. I wouldn't have this show if it weren't for the pandemic, you know, like
Fucking everybody's a
it's
podcast now, man. It's awesome.
straight up, dude. It's and there's so much everybody's into it. The community's like strong and shit. There's less gatekeeping, I feel like, as a result of the pandemic. I feel like that shit was really tough before. Like people were more oh, well you're this genre, I don't fucking like it or whatever, and it that stopped. It stopped because like people just became more open-minded and they were like fuck it. They wanted a way to escape and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, the music fucking totally totally gave people an outlet. I know it gave me an outlet, man. I remember working because they transitioned me to work from home, so
Yep.
I was in like a call center guy, so I was sitting in my fucking garage freezing my ass off every day, and I used to have like little speakers like in between phone calls, and I'd just be blasting music all fucking day, like discovering new bands and doing this shit, and then like
Yeah, man.
more inclined to buy merch. Like I have so many fucking shirts now, it's not even
That's
funny.
fucking devil, man.
you know
Uh,
do you
I
collect
bought a
vinyl?
house. I do like vinyl. I've not started collecting it yet though, but I know it's a rabbit hole I'm about to go down. 'Cause, I have a friend called Derek in Glasgow. He plays in a cool band with Sculpture. He was into vinyl before it was like a resurgent thing. So he's got a bunch of original pressings of like death metal stuff from like fucking years and years and years ago. And people always told me like vinyl sounded better. I was like, I can't sound that much better, right? And he let me hear None So Well with Cryptopsy on vinyl, like the original pressing, for his like amazing setup, and it just sounded incredible. Like fuck, I heard like half a song and I was converted. Like that's it. I need to start a vinyl collection. I need to get into this. But yeah, obviously the pandemic and things like that has kind of other priorities. But that is a rabbit hole I'm about to totally go down.
Yeah, dude. I just started last year. That's funny. That's one of the ones that I want so fucking bad, but I can't find like a good repressing of it that isn't secondhand. I'm waiting for
Yeah,
them
man.
to redo it one more time. But fuck that album. That was like, what's funny is that album was when I think that was the one that made me comfortable listening to all the crazy like kinds of metal and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
poor man.
I was like, I saw that cover and I was just like, what the fuck? You see, what was it? John the Baptist's head on the plate. And I'm just like,
Yeah, man.
I was like,
Insane.
do I want to listen to this? Do I not want to listen to this? And then I remember like fucking with it. And then it's that, yeah, dude, it sounds like a mess. Like when you first hear it. And then fucking after that, like after hearing it so much, your like ears get used to it. And then you're like, oh, fuck yeah. Like they
Yeah, you
set
can
the
kind of
standard.
decipher it. But
95 too, 1995 they were doing that shit, like
insane. Absolutely
yeah.
insane, man. Like way at the curve. Then like suffocation and stuff kind of coming out at the same time. That must have been mind blowing. But yeah, man, sounds incredible on vinyl. Also, the fact like vinyls are just so big, so you can just look at artwork and it's just like huge, and it's like cool to like put on your wall and stuff. So it's just kind of it just looks awesome. It's bigger, but of course better.
Yeah, and then sometimes there's cool shit in there. Is there gonna be, do you guys have any cool shit planned for the inside of your fucking vinyl, or is it just gonna be the disc?
We've got a whole sleeve and stuff planned for vinyl, man. So we're going to see all 200 pictures of people going fucking mental, just like, blowing up. Like the vinyl itself is like a splatter vinyl, so it's going to be like all puke color and stuff.
That's badass, dude.
We're doing Party in Half in vinyl at some point as well, and that's going to be confetti colored vinyl.
Oh, that's so hard.
Yeah, it's going to be
I
awesome.
need to get that fucking thing, man. That's sick. Damn. So yeah, man, fucking the new project sounds super tight. How would you say your like how do you feel about the mixing versus like your latest versus like your earlier projects, like the the growth as far as like figuring out what you're doing? Because I see a lot of growth. Everything sounds tight, clean. It's sonically fucking like there, you know, and
Yeah, man.
it's a big difference, you know, in improvement from the original projects, you know. But like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, so I feel this the sound we've always really bands always say this is always what we've really been going for. But it's like we've always want to be that kind of raw band, like live sounding. Like the bands we like are like Despondency, Defeated Sanity, Gore Guys, and Girls and Crete. These bands sound live. It sounds like people are in a room playing together. There's no like over top editing. The drums are all real, like obviously minus the kick and stuff. Yeah, and there's imperfections in the guitar playing, but it still sounds like an album. It still sounds like big. It still sounds produced in some way. But even like Non Survival, that kind of vibe, we've always kind of wanted it, but we didn't really know much about recording. So as we got better at playing instruments and got better at fucking practicing, as we kind of learned about the process and how to make things sound the way you want them to, it just kind of came together. And working with other people in the studio as well. The guy who mixed the first album was amazing. Like he did a really good job with what we gave him, but he wasn't really. Like, I don't think he was like super into death metal. He was more like a punk kind of grindcore guy, which is cool. It's just kind of part of our vibe as well. So when we started working with people who'd worked with more brutal death metal bands, it kind of made sense. They knew what to tell us and what to ask for, tell us how to like mic things up and how to get a good performance out of us. Yeah, I still really learning curve. The more we learned about stuff, the more we knew how to do it better.
Yeah.
So it's not really like we never went, we need to be more accessible or anything like that. We need to be more edited. We need more this or that. We just went, right, cool. This is the sound we've always wanted. Is the steps to achieve it and how to keep it going. And yeah, you know, it's growth. It's just getting better, really, rather than changing things. That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yes. A lot of bands go fucking soft after hella
Yeah.
years, or you know, like I hate it when that happens too, man. Like I was talking about, like, what was it? The Devil Wears Prada. Like fucking, they used to be like, when they first came out, they were like fucking. They were almost metalcore. They weren't metalcore though. They were like in between like metalcore and like fucking almost death metal. I'd say at like their first project. Then they went really metalcore, and then they all turned into like hipsters and started doing like brutal music, and then they fucking switched it up, and now they're making like music that sounds like it would be on fucking like WWE entrance music and shit, and they're singing,
Oh,
and I'm
man.
like, you know,
So, man. See, I kind of feel when like a band totally changes style, uh, it's probably best to rename the band. Understand, I'm not living off my music, so I can just make wild statements like that. I'm like, oh, if Party Cannon wanted to be a pop punk band, I just not do Party Cannon anymore. Whereas Devil Wears Prada, I was like, if I don't do Devil's Prada anymore, I can't pay my rent. So
yeah,
I see it as like a totally different world. But yeah, that's the kind of problem I had. See, when I first got like started getting metal, and the bands that are kind of popular like Trivium, Killswitch Engage, and things like that. So I got like Iron Maiden, then I kind of bypassed the whole new metal stage, which a lot of people kind of had. I don't know how. It just never appealed to me. So I got like Trivium when Emperor Inferno came out. Then Ascendancy came out. I was like, cool. It's like heavy and kind of half clean singing and stuff like that. It's like cool. Then all the bands in my era kind of became glam rock bands. Like Trivium put out the Crusade that had like the anthem and stuff on it. Shadows Fall kind of went all kind of hair metal, maybe not hair metal, but kind of more traditional thrash, like no screaming, no shouting. Killswitch Engage kind of went more melodic. Like, at
yeah,
that point, I was discovering death metal, so yeah, it just started. I was like, fucking, I love one of my favorite bands ever is Carcass, but I can't get into anything past Necroticism because again, it's just like so melodic, it's just not heavy, it's like not aggressive, and the song structures are all really predictable. It's kind of taken away what I enjoyed about it. And people are like, oh, you're just being narrow-minded. Like, no, no, no. I like this band because of a reason. Now it's like a different band. So, I mean, I'm allowed to like one band over another. It's, yeah. So that's
yeah,
always been a thing as well when doing Party Can or any other bands that can accept everything. Like, it has to be extreme start to end. Like, if it stops being extreme, if I don't want to do extreme music anymore, I feel it's only right artistically to not do the band. But like I said, I'm in a position where I could just stop doing Party Can and I still have a fucking full-time job and stuff. So I'd be good, but I wouldn't like to lose my house or fucking I wouldn't starve.
Yeah, like labels like really constrain certain people, like big labels. I mean,
Yeah, and
like
as well.
it was funny because I talked to Fulci, or I was talking to Dome from Fulci, and he was he was telling me about how when they released their new project. Have you heard it? Fucking
Yeah, it's kind of got Simpson stuff in it, right? It's kind of horror music as well as like death metal. It's cool. I like it.
yeah, like the
I've heard an
second.
album before, but it's still awesome.
Yeah, it's like a total transition. I was like, what did the label think when you sent them that? Because it was so different, you know. Like, but it. He said they looked at us like, like you really want to do this? And they were like, yeah, this is it. Put it out. People are gonna like it, you know. And they have that artistic freedom to fucking
Yeah, it's
do
awesome,
that,
man.
you know. Time to Kill, I guess, is really good with with doing accommodating for their people. So that's like those are the best kind of like labels to be on. The indie world is like the best fucking the best place to be, I think, because
Yeah,
you can be passionate about what you do. You don't have to worry about, fucking other people owning your shit. You do what you want and you have that artistic freedom, like, But don't get me wrong, I mean there are some big bands that have like Black Dahlia Murder. They're on Metal Blade. They've been there for fucking years and they're you know, they have that freedom to do what they want to do. But I did hear one time they were trying to. You heard that album Abysmal by them?
yeah, man. I used to do like Daily Murder back when I was a bit younger. I kind of didn't keep up with them after so much after was it Necropolis? Is that the one after? No, Deflorate. That's yeah, that's
Different.
out. That's kind of when I kind of fell in love with like a lot of death metal. But I've heard some tracks from Abysmal and still sounds like a Black Dahlia Murder to me.
Yeah, like they
Yeah.
stayed consistent, but on the original mix of that, they wanted to go for that '90s sound. So it
Oh,
sounded a
really?
lot more, yeah, like more not lo-fi, but like more organic, like everything
Yeah, yeah,
playing
yeah.
at once with more like kind of like reverb noise just in the background, like yeah, like that early shit. And I guess they sent it to the label, and the label was like, no, we need that new tight, clean sound. Like you're gonna make it
Totally,
sound
man.
like
Totally, man.
you know
I guess with labels like Metal Blade, they have the final say and things like that because they're paying for it in the end. So
exactly.
it sucks.
And
But I know Trevor's way into his bro death metal and his old school stuff. So I'm sure he'd have liked to have that sound, like the organic sound.
I know I want to hear that mix one day. I'm gonna
Yeah,
fucking hear it, man. One day I have to. Fucking, he's doing a black metal project too soon.
yeah, I saw that, man. I saw that an article about that. That'd be interesting.
Would you ever do some like different projects or side? Have you worked on any side projects, or is it all
Oh
all in Party Cannon?
no, man, I'm in too many bands, like fucking loads. In fact, one band that played bass for Liquefied Remains. That EP just came out today. So I kind of do like session work and stuff with people, or just someone needs a bass player, I'll just play.
Yeah,
I just really enjoy playing bass. And my first job out of the uni, outside of university, was I used to like fill in like wedding bands and jazz bands and stuff. So that's obviously quite different from Barry Can, but it's good. It's just learn a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. Goes fucking wedding, hopefully you can play it. But yeah, no, outside of Barry Can, I'm in another band called Nictus Savagery, which is on Will Tip Records, and that's it's just more like kind of brutal stuff. We've got an album coming out next year, I think. We're just about to finish and record. I was in a band called Laceration as well, who are on New Standard Elite, and that's still kind of more brutal stuff. But yep, I was in a punk grindcore band called Gendo Akari as well. That came out on vinyl. Yeah, been quite a few better projects, man. Quite a few projects. It's mostly like brutal stuff at the moment. All my kind of more non-metal projects kind of died a death quite quickly.
yeah, I feel that, man. Like that's a trip. And then it's like, so well, would you say Party Cannon's your bread and butter when it comes down to it, like, or are you still like, do you feel like it's your most successful project that you've been in?
Yeah, Party Cannon, like the Saturday, definitely my main bands. To be honest, Party Cannon's more kind of. Phoenix Saturday is more like a kind of group thing. Each member kind of writes like a quarterly album and kind of bring it in, and it's more kind of done in there. Whereas I think Party Cannon's more. It's still like a group thing, but I'm more of the driving force in it. Like I manage the band, like I book the gigs and stuff. Yeah, I wrote. like 90% of music. Kind of work. I just kind of organize everything. I've got more, not more input. I wouldn't say more at stake, but I'm responsible for more things than party can. I do all social media things. I do like obviously all interviews like we're doing right now. Uh, yeah, so party kind of feels a bit more. It feels like there's more me in it. If that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
more kind of. I'm more identifiable with that band.
Yeah, that's got to be difficult, man. Fucking doing all of that for a band. I mean, I know what booking is like. I mean, I booked for this show. I've heard stories of like wrestlers booking and hell other bands booking, and it's like that shit's a pain in the ass sometimes. Like when you're trying to deal
Fucking
with someone.
hello, man.
Yeah, like what's one of the like worst booking stories that you have? Like fucking one that comes to mind, like or a funny booking story where you're like, fuck.
Oh man, like yeah. I'm not gonna name any names, but we're flying to a very far away country to do a tour there, and the guy in charge of it, who was kind of booking on gigs there, I was in car. He goes, I just seemed very non-committal about stuff. He kind of blow hot and cold, so he's gonna be super into it. Then he like fuck off, and he kind of, I don't know, man, just didn't give me an air of professionalism. But I remember having like a fucking meltdown about this. We were gonna ship our instruments over so we could fly over cheaper. It just made more sense for us to like send our instruments to this guy's house. So I sent him a kind of like normal, like kind of normal email to like, hey man, here's the deal. Is it cool we send this to your house? Here's the reason why. Just let me know your address and that's cool. I'll get it sorted. Standard email. And his reply was, yeah, IDC, as in I don't care. Like, fuck man, like I'm about to get on like a 10-hour flight and fucking come to your house and play a bunch of gigs that you've organized, and fucking all you said was, yeah, I don't. Can I send mentions to your house? I don't care. The fuck is that, man? Come on, come. Uh, yeah, I don't know. We've been pretty lucky with bookings, man. Like, I've never turned up somewhere and had a gig that pulled or anything like that. Most people I work with have been kind of professional, but I don't know. Just the whole thing is a lot of stress. I guess I kind of negotiate with people.
Yeah.
Earlier this year, we actually signed on with management, and we've got a booking agent now and stuff. We've got a North American booking agent who's amazing. There's a guy called Liam. We've just signed with a UK and Europe one, but it's about to be announced, so I can't really pitch that. But we've got this guy called Toyin from Kerosene Management, actually managing band, kind of taking some responsibility from me, so I can just kind of focus on writing the music and we're just enjoying being in the band, really.
Yeah.
And that's been amazing. That's been a huge weight off my shoulders. So it just means like when earlier this year we went to play a festival, Bloodstock. And that was going to be the biggest gig we've ever played. It was like bands like Sidelosis and fucking Merciful Fate and things like that. It's been fucking huge. 17,000 people, and there's a bunch of buzz about us playing. Like the BBC, in fact, we're going to come and film some documentary and include us in it. Damn. It's that big a deal. And a few days before the fest, our drummer got COVID, so we had to pull out. And man, it's devastating. Sucks. But it was devastating because we didn't play in fest, but it was also devastating because I felt like I spent 10 years building the band up to that point to get offered that slot.
Yeah.
Just for it to be kind of crushed like that. Like, fuck, man. That's so much of my time and so much of my effort gone in an instant. So at that point, I made a decision, right? We need to get a manager. We need to get someone who does this, has all the contacts already. It just does it for a living. So that means if it happens to them, it's not a big deal. They've got a million other things in the pipeline. It's not just, I'm a guy who does it for fun. And that's like fucking hundreds of hours of my life just gone just because someone got COVID and it was unavoidable. So yeah, it's been a lot better having a man. So like I said, they have the contacts, things like that, and it's just easier for them to sort things out. Like people know managers, they trust managers, so therefore their contacts are like, cool, I'll put your band on this and that just because I trust this guy. I know he can quality acts. So it's a bit different. And if something happens, he'll deal with it. He'll get something else in return. Whereas beforehand, it was just like all me doing it.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way to go too, especially when your band has as much fucking buzz as it does, man. You guys, like, everybody knows fucking Party Cannon. Anybody I talk to, like, there are like hella people. When I posted I was gonna have Party Cannon on, hella people are messaging me like, oh shit, fucking Party Cannon, hell yeah, can't wait for this one. I'm like, fuck yeah, man, it's Party Cannon, baby. Like, you guys got buzz right now, especially right now too. So, you know,
Yeah, man, it's awesome. It's great. It's great to see. We've been doing the band for like 10, 11 years. It's great that people are still into it.
yeah, man. Well, that's, you know, that's a thing. It's like you you guys have been consistent with your releases. You know, you've stayed with like a killer sound that's only gotten better. You know, you fucking have your concepts that you stick with, and it's like, who doesn't like to party? You know,
Oh yeah,
everyone can relate to that shit, man. Like, you know, I got to be in a certain mood to listen to some fucking to listen to some like Cannibal Corpse or some shit that is like really like, I got to be like either pissed off or like fucking working out or doing some shit. But Party Cannon, I could just get down, dude. It's groovy, man. Slam music is like, I think it's more popular than it's ever been right now. And
definitely, man. There's definitely been it's kind of broken out the underground a bit more.
yeah, like
See, when I go to like slam death metal, nobody knew it was. It was just fucking. I had to go to Europe to fucking go to like slam gigs and stuff and see fucking bands.
yeah, fucking that like, it's strip club music. Like, I feel like that's the next thing it's gonna break into. It needs to just be in the strip clubs, and then
And it's funny you said it. We not long ago we had a stripper message. She was in text or something like, "Can I use one of your songs?" Like, yeah, sure. Here you go. Here's a link to our fucking catalog. Go nuts. Like,
hell yeah.
that's pretty cool.
See, I'm right. I know shit, people. Everybody watching this,
Yeah.
I've been saying that.
Third eye is open, man.
Yes, because I stopped drinking fluoride. Fucking, but yeah, man, that shit's fucking crazy. Like, so this new project's coming out, and it's been done for almost a fucking year now. What
Same,
else
man.
do you
Yeah.
guys have in the bag, in the party bag, in the gift bags? What do you guys have in store?
Fuck, man. We've got so many gigs next year. It's insane. Like, going back to America, we've got loads of European festivals. We've got some big UK ones. We're playing this UK festival called Manorfest, which is like an old school heavy metal fest, but they're kind of bringing in death metal bands. So we're playing with like Candlemass, uh, Accept, Rotten Christ, and things like that.
Yeah,
It's a really bizarre lineup for us, but it's going to be amazing. Like, I'm really glad the guy asked us. We're going to Finland for the first time, and that's going to be announced soon. That's going to be awesome. What else? We might be going back to Asia at some point. We booked a few headliners as well. Going to be awesome, man. It's full on next year.
yeah. Are
Hyped
you
to be
gonna
back in the States.
Yeah. So you did. I'm in the Bay Area. So you did the
Oh,
Bay
fuck yeah, man.
Area Metal Fest. Fucking. Are you doing any West Coast dates when you do come to the U.S.?
Not this time around, man. Not this time around. The West Coast is just so far away. Like, see to fly to the East Coast, that's like £300. See to fly to the West Coast, that's like £800. It's
Yeah.
insane. Like, America's so big. But no, West Coast is amazing, man. Like, we toured the West Coast in 2015 with Parasitic Ejaculation and Cardiac Man. That was insane. The West Coast is so cool. Like, I love California. I love like fucking Portland and all that. It's cool. Some people I can still talk to like this day. Some of my best friends I met on that tour. I ate probably like a million burritos in the fucking West Coast. It's fucking
Yeah.
awesome. The beaches were amazing. But yeah, man, I just love America. I think each state has just its own personality, and it's just cool. Like, it's so different as far as you go, and it's so big. It's insanely big, man. Like,
Yeah, it's a trip, man. Driving through, like, you go to fucking. Did you do Vegas when you came out here?
oh yeah, we've been to Vegas a few times, man.
You party in Vegas?
Yeah,
You got
it's
to.
insane. It's fucking nuts. Like,
What
the
do you
strip
guys
in
do
Vegas,
in
man,
Vegas?
it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I think the most insane thing I happened in the States was I went there in 2013 with our brand. We played Amarillo, and it was a guy who knew our tour manager. He's like, come to my farm for a gig, we'll have a barbecue. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, that sounds awesome. We turned up. I was like, oh, where's this guy? And he pulls up on his quad bike that's got a trailer in it. And the trailer is full of just guns and barbecue. Like, this is the most American thing I've ever seen in my life. And he just handed me a shotgun. I was like, there's an old barn over there, just go shoot at the bits. Like, all right, yeah. I live in Scotland. I've never seen a gun in my fucking life.
Yeah.
He's like, here, look, there's a fucking pub action shotgun. It's like, awesome. Fuck, man, I'm trying to kill myself for this fire.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
that was
trip.
awesome. Yeah.
That's yeah. So California, it's there like there's not so many like they got a lot more restrictions, so you can't just like go and do that shit. So like, I went to Idaho one time, and my fucking uncle, we're just driving in the trees or whatever. Like it's nothing but fucking mountains and trees up there, and we're driving, and he pulls over, and I'm like, "What are we doing?" "Put some cans over there. We're shooting." I was like, "What the fuck?" All right, like
Oh
I
man,
guess we're just shooting here in the middle of the fucking nowhere. Like,
oh man, that's
yeah,
awesome. Like, yeah, I mean, I've got a real problem with guns. I know a lot of people who own guns in America are fucking responsible for them. Like, you grew up with guns; it's part of your culture. So
yeah.
people like fine with it. In the UK, it's different. I would not trust anyone here with a fucking gun, like at all. I
I
think
know.
there's like one big shooting in Scotland, and so they just banned guns like outright. Uh, it seemed to work in Scotland. I'm not going to say that it worked in America. America's a completely different country, but in Scotland it seemed to work. Uh, it's a different thing, though, man. Like America was like founded on like having guns and stuff, so there's no way people just like no guns ever again. They
Yeah.
could maybe change the restrictions and stuff, or make education on guns a bit better. But I don't know, man. I don't live there, so my opinion is moot. So,
No.
yeah, it's often like I had a lot of fun like shooting guns in America. It was like so novel to me, like just seeing fucking
Yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, it's a crazy thing. Like when you do it, it's fucking fun. You get a rush when you do that shit too.
yeah,
You're like,
so,
yeah, like you. So you like to party and you like to shoot guns. Do you like to skydive? You ever done that shit, or would you?
no, man. Yeah, I fucking know, man. That sounds awesome, man. Getting out of a plane might be a bit difficult, but I think once I'm in the air, it'd be
Yeah.
fine. I think that's rational, though, man. That's like a rational fear to have.
Yeah, fuck just falling like fucking
Like,
from like 3 miles up. Like holy shit. Yeah, I
man, like
fucking
I went to this festival in Switzerland years and years ago. It was called Mountains of Death. It was literally in the Swiss Alps, and it was bands like Gorguys, Defeated Sanity, Suffocation, and stuff were playing. It was fucking insane. But behind the stage, there was like an actual waterfall that you could just go there and like hang out. And it was really big. I remember I jumped off the waterfall eventually, and I broke my foot landing in the water at the bottom of it. I was just fucking in Switzerland, but I didn't quite realize it was fucked. So we're driving back and we got to France, and I was like, oh yeah, man, that feels funny. And it's swollen up to the point where my shoe wouldn't like actually go back on.
ah
I got fuck, man. I need to go to hospital at some point.
fuck, that's
That
crazy.
sucks. But yeah.
Damn. And did you still have dates after that, or were you on your way home?
I was like just going to the festival with like plenty of gigs, so it's kind of fine.
Yeah, I hear like wrestlers and shit. Like these guys will have like I've heard or a lot of wrestlers I've had on the show because it's death matches and death metal. So
Yeah, it makes
fucking
sense. Huh?
yeah, they fucking sometimes they'll get injured and then they'll still have like 3 bookings for the weekend. Different shows to go to with like a
Fuck, man.
busted or sprained ankle or some shit. So it's like that's gotta be rough, man. Especially like on stage. Like fuck, what are you gonna do? Sit down? Like and play like.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, wrestlers are fucking nuts, man. I have no idea how they cope with what to do. I remember watching this documentary. Yeah, I'm not like I don't watch wrestling that much. Like I used to like it when I was younger, but I find wrestling as a concept and like the people in it really fascinating. Uh, I remember watching a documentary. And that guy Vader, he was wrestling in Japan one time, and his eye came out. It was fucking like I literally came out in the socket. So he took his mask off. He used to wear this kind of bond shades looking mask, and he just put it back in and continued the match.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yep.
What the fuck, man? Like,
They're built different, man. They're
yeah,
built
absolutely,
different.
man. Like, you, absolutely pure respect to those guys. Like people like Mick Foley as well. Like, shit, he did to his body. That's insane. And he just
Yeah.
fucking just carried on.
They're fucking it's wild. There's like so in the US, and I don't even know if they have it in on that side of the earth, but Australia for sure. I'm pretty sure Australia does death matches, but like there's a whole underground scene of fucking people destroying each other, like with fucking light bulbs, light tubes, the
Oh, yeah.
fucking they have these things called gusset plates, and they're like fucking pieces of like they're like square sheets of fucking metal that are like spiky, and you stick it on and it sticks to you, and if you take it off it just turns whatever into hamburger. And yeah,
Fuck, man.
They go crazy with them, dude. There was this guy named Hoodfoot. He's like an up and comer. My boy Zach Monday, he was showing me this match of Hoodfoot, and he like got, I think he got a gusset to the forehead, and they took it out, and it was spraying like fucking just straight blood out of his head. Like I want to show this shit to the people on the show, but then my videos would get rated like mature or whatever. Yeah, or they'd take it off. Maybe for the fluids episode, I'll fucking show a bunch of crazy shit, because I'm like, we're probably gonna get banned anyway, just showing the album art.
Yeah, man. That'll be a good episode, man. Like, I'm sure you guys fluids have some weird stuff to talk about.
Yeah, they crack me up, man. Fucking, but that's hella cool that you collabed with him. How did like did you reach out to him? He reached out to you, like, for the artwork, or like?
So it's a bit weird one, man. I put this post up in like the Gorgrind page on Facebook, which is a group. Like, who's the best guy to get in contact to do college and stuff? I went, who did the Fluids artwork? And they linked me to this guy. It wasn't the guy from Fluids. It's a guy that worked with Fluids like one time. And the guy's stuff was amazing. I was like, holy fuck, this is like exactly what I was looking for. It was like a collage of stuff. It was still kind of like aesthetic. It was still kind of like, there was like shapes and stuff to it. It was like visually really interesting while still being a collage. So I talked to this guy. I was like, can you make me like 10 panels for an album art? And yeah, sure, man. He sent me one panel, then he ghosted me for 7 months. Yeah. He ghosted me for so long, and the album actually got delayed because I was waiting on this fucking guy. So I messaged Jan, like, hey, man, I don't even know me, but if I can play in this band and that band, is there any, it might be a big ass, is there any way we can make artwork for my band? And go back in touch, like, hey, man, yeah, I'm actually a big fan of Party Cannon and Nick Deceptor. He's like, oh, fuck, no way. Yeah, that guy you were working with, he's notorious for just ghosting people and disappearing. I actually worked with him, and he just disappeared from his job and things. Like, oh, okay. Anyway, totally, man, I'd love to work with you guys. Send me stuff, we'll talk, and awesome, you just did it. It was awesome. Jan did a great job. He came up with a bunch of concepts as well. I was like, here's art, here's the album title, just go nuts. Cool, man, I'll create a stream of people coming out of your mouth, so it looks like you're vomiting a bunch of fucked up people. Like, great. That's fucking what we wanted. That's exactly what we needed.
Damn, I'm gonna pull it up real quick for everybody watching. You gotta see this fucking album art, everybody. This shit is, whew, it's fucking volumes of vomit.
I think it's quite extreme as far as Party Cannon art goes, but it's still in keeping with like what we've had before, like people impaled on bongs and cut in half and like severed heads with confetti coming out and stuff.
It's fitting. So
people are like, oh, Party Cannon art. Yeah, it's a natural progression.
Yeah, it's getting a little gnarlier. Oh man. Yeah, this shit, I was like really I looked at it and like, man, yeah, like the blending of stuff in the background is just like, ooh, like it's like pigs and then like fucking some fucked up teeth and like, oh my god. It should be up on the screen in a second. Yeah, this.
There we go. It's me with a tight fade. You can see that.
Yeah, this shit is pretty crazy, man. What am I looking at right here on the right side? Like that, is that like intestines?
I'm guessing so, man. I have a degree in biology, so I fucking know this, but I don't think it's a brain. I think that's like lower intestines. I think that's like a colon. Like,
it's like a poop-filled colon, huh? Like,
yeah, could be that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. And then you got all the little heads and shit. But it's still, you know, it's funny. Like, you know, Fluid's album art is like just, you know, just filth. Like, the more you look at it, the more kind of gross it is. Like, this one is kind of tongue in cheek. You know, it's still funny. Like they look like little like action figures, the little people sticking out of it and shit. So it's still like, it's still a party time. It's still a good time.
It's still a colorful looking album as well. So if you looked at it from far away, like, oh, what is that? I mean, the closer you get to it, like actually, this is obscene. This is.
You know who this dude is right here on the front of it?
The guy thrown up.
Yeah,
that's me.
That's you.
That's fucking me, man. Like, fucking, though you can tell, we're fucking.
I'm hella weak. That's fucking good. Oh my god. Yeah, man. That's you're just throwing up on the fucking. Oh my god, that's crazy. What are people's reactions like when, or what was the band's reaction when they saw the art when it was completed?
They were like, "Holy shit, what the fuck!" It's Jesus. I remember showing to there's a guy called Bailey in Edinburgh. He films all our videos for us. He usually comes to gigs with us and just like filmed and reviews us and things. Just kind of he's like a media guy. I remember showing to him like when we're recording, like just kind of like, "Hey Bailey, check this out." And he kind of, "Oof." Just, I remember his reaction just being perfect. It went down pretty well. Like I remember I loaded it. It got like over 1,000 likes like organically as well. A lot of like interaction. People like seem like fuck, this is insane. This looks mad. And the fact that it's made up of like fan submissions as well made people kind of more hyped. So I think a lot of people might just buy it just to see themselves in it or just see like what fucking nuts stuff in it. Because the actual sleeve as well is insane, man. It just, the further you go into it, the more mental it looks. Just the more and more pictures of people being sick.
Oh, God, I want to see that shit. Hella bad. I can't wait. Well, we'll be able to get it sometime next year once the vinyl once Adele is stopped. Once Adele is done with her fucking 500,000 fucking copies of her album that are going to be in Target, fucking
what the fuck? It's insane, man. There's a worldwide shortage of vinyl, and I can't believe Adele managed to circumvent that and kind of add to it. I mean, Adele's cool stuff, like good for her, but fuck, man, I don't think she realized there's people like me waiting on vinyl because of Adele. Like,
yeah.
Oh man, like I've totally gone off topic here, but I read this ridiculous thread online. It was reviews of Taylor Swift's vinyl. People are like, there's like a man singing on this for some reason. And there's lots and lots of comments being like, I bought 3 copies of his vinyl. And for some reason, each song just has this man singing on it. And all the songs sound dead slow. So it's just like 10, 20 people on his like Target thread or something. Like, I don't know why. Like, I think my vinyl's broken. I think they've always been playing it at the wrong RPM and they've not realized. Because all these people have the exact same problem. It's like, what is happening here?
It's their first vinyl they've ever got, probably, you know. I mean, that's cool. You know,
yeah, totally, man. Like, people learn stuff.
Getting into it.
I just think it's funny. It was like so consistent down the board, the guy playing. But I'm guessing if a Taylor Swift vinyl probably would be like a first vinyl for quite a lot of people, and it probably sounds amazing on a vinyl as well because it's also got a budget and stuff. It's been mastered properly and things like no expense has been spared there. But it's just funny. Like everybody had the fucking same issue. Like this is fucked up. It's like what the fuck is happening? Why does it sound like a man? Like this is not Taylor.
That's fucking good, man.
That's insane, man.
But yeah, I'm gonna all right, and then okay, let's do the outro, I guess, and then fucking
let's do it, man.
Yeah, so absolute pleasure having you on the show, man. Thank you so much for coming on today. You know, I wish you the best this upcoming year. I know you got a lot coming on. Anything that you want to plug before we wrap it up?
This Monday, I believe Danny Filth's music video coming out. It'll be all on our YouTube channel. What else? Fucking the album comes out January 14th. We've got a bunch of other videos coming up between now and then. Yeah, cheers for the sport. Fucking keep supporting Party Slam. And yeah, cheers on the podcast, man. It's been fun.
Hell yeah.
See you guys in America next year.
Hell yeah. Party cannon, baby.
Yeah, that's what we do, man.
And go stream I Believe in Danny Filth right now on Spotify to hear it before you see the visual. Because this visual is about to be off the hook. You got to be mentally prepared for this shit.